Hello everybody, happy new year. It has been a minute since the last time I sat down to film a video, and this is my first official video of 2025. So it is a yearly tradition that at the beginning of the new year, I reflect on all of the beauty products that I love the most over the last year. Normally when I do these yearly roundups, I put together a list of like 50 products, but as I was thinking about all of my favorites, I actually noticed that my list was pretty small. 2024 was really just the year that I stuck to a lot of my tried and true staples, and obviously I tried a lot of new products and I fell in love with some of them along the way, but once I found those products that I really loved, I didn't really let them go. And I think that was pretty obvious in my content because I kind of spoke about the same products over and over and over again, but at least I'm consistent. So instead of talking your ear off about like 7,000 different products, I really narrowed it down to my top 10 most loved, most repurchased, couldn't live without beauty products that I love the most in 2024 and will be bringing into my life in 2025. And if you want to share, let me know your top 10 products of 2024 in the comments. I think it would be really fun to see what everybody has to say. If you're not part of the fam yet, definitely subscribe. Would love to have you here in 2025, and hit the like button if you enjoy videos like these, and let's get right into it. So let's start off first with my most loved foundation of the year. This one was actually pretty easy to figure out because it's the only foundation that I actually finished an entire bottle of. And if you couldn't guess already, it is the Chanel Le Beige Touche de Teint Water Fresh Foundation. This was actually in my 2023 favorites as well, and my love for this product did not slow down in 2024 in the slightest, because this was definitely one of my most used foundations for the entire year. I would take it out for pretty much every single type of occasion. It was one of my go-tos for daytime, for events when I wanted just a little bit of coverage or when I wanted a little bit more coverage. It's just one of those foundations that can really do it all while always staying super lightweight and natural looking. I think the one word that I can use to describe this product is that it's just effortless. I can apply this with my fingers and it just melts into the skin and looks so natural, especially when I want just like a really easy and quick routine. This was just always my go-to because I can literally just slap it on my face and it always looks good. Actually, today my skin is really unhappy with me. It's super dry all over my face. It's also like a little bit inflamed. And before I started filming, I was just staring at my skin in the mirror, just kind of frustrated because I was like, oh my God, I have to go on camera right now. And I was worried that I would look a little bit dry and cakey on camera, but I don't even know why I was worried because I put this on. And as you can see, my skin is looking very glowy, and you honestly wouldn't even know that underneath it is very dry and just not so happy. You might notice that this is a completely full bottle, and I did say in one of my previous videos that I wasn't going to repurchase it until I finished some of my other foundations, but I just happened to find myself at a Chanel counter and I couldn't resist, and I was really missing having this in my everyday life. So I broke my own rule. Oops. So this is the RMS Super Serum Hydrating Mist. If you've watched any one of my makeup videos over the last couple of months, this has made an appearance in almost every single one of those videos. Honestly, this product really took me by surprise because I really didn't expect that much out of it when I first tried it. I don't know about you guys, but whenever a makeup brand launches some type of like skincare product, I'm always a little bit hesitant for some reason. Like, my natural reaction isn't to think that it's going to be the most amazing thing ever, but this really surprised me. So this spray is packed with a lot of really great stuff. It just adds so much hydration and glow to the skin. There's niacinamide, there's peptides, there's even quinoa and pea extract to help smooth and firm the skin. Now, I actually don't use this product in my skincare routine. I pretty much exclusively use it in my everyday makeup routine. I'll spray it on my face before I go in with my foundation, and I find that it really just helps my base products really melt into the skin and look extra glowy, extra natural. Even on the days like today that I'm convinced that my skin will essentially reject my foundation because it's so dry, it will still make my skin look so good. So if you do have dry skin, it really is just a magical product. And this was such a great find this year. So the Makeup Forever Artist Pencils have been some of my favorite lip liners for years now. I don't even know how many years at this point, but how many times have you heard me say Anywhere Caffeine, Endless Cacao, or Wherever Walnut, or like Limitless Brown? These liners have just been such a huge staple in my collection for such a long time because the shades are just so good. So Makeup Forever actually came out with an extreme version of the pencils this year, which sounds dramatic now that I'm saying that out loud because it's not really that extreme, but it's a slightly different formula from the original. And honestly, it's everything that I didn't even know that I needed, because the only thing that I felt that the original artist pencils were missing was longevity. The original formula is very comparable to something like a MAC lip pencil. They're wooden pencils, so they'll glide on and they'll last like a nice amount of time, but they're not the type of formula that's really gonna lock down on the lips. But that changed with the Extreme lip pencils. So the formula for the Extreme pencil is much creamier and has more intense pigment. And while I still use the original formula because they give more of like a blurred, soft effect on the lips, I now almost exclusively reach for the newer Extreme formula because on most days I really just want that longevity. I would say that my number one favorite right now is Wherever Walnut because it's a very, very close shade match to my actual lip color. And so when I apply it, I find that it is almost an extension of my natural lips. So when I want to overline and make my lips look extra pouty, it looks very natural because it almost doesn't even look like I'm really wearing a lip liner. It's like the perfect color for me. And then on top of that, with the really long wear formula that it has, it just lasts for such a long time and I don't have to like reapply it that often throughout the day, which is really, really awesome. So an upgrade to the artist pencils was not really on my bingo card for 2024 because in my mind, the originals were really kind of perfect, but I'm so happy to have it. Let's move into a hair care product. Now, as most of you guys know, over the last couple of years, I have been on a major curl journey. One of my favorite types of products to test out are actually curl products because it's just so crazy to see how different routines and product combinations will completely change the way that my curls look. And curl routines can get so complicated. Depending on what I want to achieve with my curls and depending on like the type of routine I want to use, some of my routines contain like 6 different products and like various techniques to get the result that I want. And as with most things in my beauty routine, my goal is to always do the least but get the best results, which means finding a routine that is straightforward and not 5,000 steps. So with that said, in 2024, I tried so many different curl products and a lot of them I really enjoyed, but one of the ones that I would say is the most impressive is the Fenty Hair, the Home Curl Defining Cream. Whenever I style my curls, I will typically use a curl cream, a gel, and an oil. And each product is really meant to do something different. I want the cream to give my curls hydration and definition. The gel needs to give me hold and the oil should add shine, but without weighing my hair down. And what I love so much about the Fenty Curl Cream is that it's kind of an all-in-one product for my hair because not only does it give me the hydration and definition, but I also find that it gives me some very soft hold and some pretty good shine too. So it kind of replaces-ish the gel and the oil. It also smells so good. It has kind of like a soft floral fresh fragrance that I really enjoy and it doesn't weigh my hair down at all. So overall, it's really just a perfect curl product for me and I haven't been able to stop using it since I discovered it. If you are also a curly haired person and you're looking for a new product to try, I cannot recommend this enough. It's so good. So if we're trying to figure out what is my most used, most repurchased beauty product of 2024, this is it. So this is the Alastin Ultra Lightweight Moisturizer, and I have literally cut open the top of this moisturizer to scrape out every last bit. I love it that much. So over the last year, my skin has been a little bit tricky. It's just become so sensitive and so reactive. And I just started to notice that so many of my usual skincare products were causing eczema flare-ups, which was very frustrating. So my esthetician, who always gives me the best skincare recommendations, recommended that I try this moisturizer, and this truly just does it all for me. So it's super lightweight while still being really nice and nourishing and hydrating. It also has ingredients that help to soothe and calm more irritated skin, which I really need. And it also has a bunch of really lovely ingredients that just help to support your skin barrier, which is also something that I really need. When it comes to a moisturizer, I'm really just looking for something that's simple and that will support my skin barrier, that will hydrate my skin and make my skin just not feel dry, and that's not going to further irritate my skin. I've been using this probably for around 8 months, maybe even closer to the full year. I'm not 100% sure, but it's been a while and I've gone through probably 4 tubes of this. The one thing I will say is I wish that it was a lot bigger because I do go through this pretty quickly. I just love Alastin as a brand. I've really find that their products just work so well for my skin. I also started to incorporate their vitamin C recently. It's only been like a month, so I can't really give you like my official stamp of approval, but it's been really nice. And I've also mentioned how much I love the SPF as well. It's like one of my absolute favorite products also. I was even debating whether or not to include that over this moisturizer, but this moisturizer really became such a huge favorite of mine this year, so I felt like it deserved the spot. So not to be too dramatic, but hair extensions kind of changed my entire life this year, and I felt like it was very necessary for me to include it as one of my favorite products of the year. So let me give you a little bit of backstory just in case you are not familiar with my extension journey. I actually had short hair for a couple years. It was about this length for a while. I even like brought it all the way up to my chin at one point, and then about 5 years ago, I decided that I wanted to start to grow it out, and I really didn't think that it would take as long as it has.
It's been 84 years.
It's been a while. So naturally curly hair, which is what I have, is also naturally drier. Unfortunately, I really do love to heat style my hair. So because my hair is drier and I like to heat style it, it does break very, very easily, and it just gets damaged like so easily. And so I would have to constantly trim my ends to keep my hair healthy, which has made it take forever for me to grow out my hair. And then I decided to dye my hair red for 2 years, which I also feel like made my hair even drier and even more damaged. I just feel like my hair barely had a chance to grow. So over the summer, I decided to try naturally curly K-tip extensions to both get some of my dream length and to also give my natural hair a little bit of a break. K-tips are individual extensions that bond to your hair using keratin. So it moves very naturally with your natural hair, and it's also super versatile as well. So these are my extensions, and I have been wearing them now pretty consistently for the last 9 months. I've done 3 rounds of the extensions, and I think I did maybe like a 2-ish month break between my first and my second set. And I can actually confirm that I have, number one, been wearing my hair curly more often than ever before because I just absolutely love how it looks. And number two, my natural hair has actually grown so much, and my theory is actually correct, which is actually pretty exciting. So when I say that extensions have changed my life, I mean, I feel like it's not even that dramatic because I genuinely feel like they kind of changed my life just a little bit. They've given me the confidence to be able to embrace my curls really more than ever before. And I've just been having so much fun finding different ways to style my natural curls without having to go in with heat. For example, this like very beachy, wavy look was created without any heat. Normally my curls are way curlier, and this is more, I would say, like a softer wave. And to achieve this, basically when I get out of the shower, I brush out my hair and really smooth out my roots and then put in 2 braids, and I'll let it completely air dry like that. And then when I take it out, I just have these like very beachy curls. And this is actually like my day 3 hair too, which is also crazy. It's just so funny how being exceptionally high maintenance has actually made my day-to-day routine with my hair way more low maintenance. So this year, I definitely will be going back and forth between my natural hair and my extensions, and I'm excited to eventually graduate from my extensions and just have my natural hair be this long. One day it will happen. I tried so hard to resist putting this on this list, but who am I kidding? Baccarat Rouge 540 was my most loved and most used perfume of 2024. This was actually on my 2023 favorites as well. So it's been a favorite now for 2 years. And as I've said many, many times, I hate that I love this so much because it is truly the most ridiculously expensive perfume. I've tried so many dupes for this perfume because inevitably I will be finishing this, and I'm very, very, very close to the end right now. And I will want to repurchase it because I genuinely do not want to not have the scent in my life. But honestly, nothing quite compares. I find that with a lot of them, it just doesn't last in the same way. It doesn't have the same like layered complexity that the original has. Good news is that this bottle has lasted me about 2 years, and I use this a ton, and I'm not that shy with it. The top notes for this are saffron and jasmine. The middle notes are amberwood, ambergris, and Hedian. I really don't know if I'm saying that properly. And then the base notes are fir resin, cedar, sugar, ambroxan, and oak moss. It smells sexy. It smells sweet, but not too sweet. Lightly, I don't want to say woodsy. I feel like that gives off the wrong impression, but it has a little bit of like a smokiness to it that's not too intense at all. And it's honestly just, it's delicious. Every time I spray it on myself, I just love the way I smell. And a lot of other people do too. I get the most compliments whenever I wear this. There's just no other perfume that I have in my collection that quite compares to how this makes me smell. I did actually find a new perfume though that I do really like. It's a very recent purchase though, so I cannot yet say that it's like a yearly favorite, but it's a really good one. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in a future video. I just need to test it out a little bit more. So when I was trying to think of some of my most used and most loved products of the year, my Refer brushes came to mind immediately. So I feel like I really don't give these enough praise because they have become some of my favorite brushes in my collection, and I feel like I don't talk about them as much as I really should, considering how much I love them. And that really says a lot considering how many brushes I have in my collection. Like, this is a small fraction of what I have just from years of being in this industry and having the opportunity to try so many different brands, so many different types of brushes. I feel like I've kind of tried them all. And there's certain brands that I definitely gravitate to and that I have a preference for. Rephr is like at the very top of the list. I feel like the shape and design of these brushes is really what makes them stand out amongst all of the other brushes in my collection, because we do definitely often see like the same shape repeated over and over and over again. Like, I have a million dense foundation brushes or angled blush brushes, and those are all great basics. And Rephr has a lot of those basic shapes as well, of course. But what I really appreciate about Rephr is they also have I wouldn't really say like unique, but just like more refined brushes that I don't have like 20 different versions of. These over here are some of my favorites and I wanted to go through them with you guys. The AA01 is such a beautiful, versatile brush, kind of on the smaller side for a face brush. It's very loosely packed. It has a little bit of like a sparser texture right at the top, so it's definitely not like a densely packed brush that's going to pack on product. It also has a very slight rounded angle to it. So this is a brush that I use in so many different ways. I use it to set my under eyes. It's the perfect shape for that and size. I use this to contour. I use it for blush. I use it for highlighter. I use it for so many different things. And I just feel like it's truly like a perfect brush. This one is also one of my big favorites. It's the number 35. So this is a smaller, more densely packed brush that's like nice and rounded, and I absolutely love this for concealer. I find that this airbrushes concealer into the skin so nicely. This one also is so nice. It's the 33, and this is like a smaller, still fluffy, pointed, flat. Trying to describe these is kind of funny, but this is such an amazing brush to more precisely set the under eyes, and even for eyeshadow. This is another one of my favorites. This is 04. This is such a good, like, more chiseling contour brush or even a blush brush. You might notice that these are also very clean at the moment, and that's because I just washed them, and I've washed them many times and they wash beautifully. A lot of brushes will like disintegrate after you wash them. These definitely don't. So this is the only more newer product that I'm including in this roundup. So this is the Victoria Beckham contour pencil, and I discovered this probably in October. And I don't think I even had a chance yet to talk to you guys about this, which is actually surprising considering I've literally been putting this on my face almost every single day. I don't know why, I just kind of keep forgetting to mention it. When I bought this, it was really just because I wanted to try something from the Victoria Beckham line. And this was really the only thing in the collection that I felt like I didn't already have in my makeup collection. So this is a cream contour, but what makes it special is just the way that it's packaged. It's a little pencil, so it's super easy to contour very precisely. I use this to contour my nose, I throw it in the crease of my eye, and I actually even use it to contour around my lips. It is just such an easy blendable formula, and because it's a pencil and you're essentially like drawing on your face, it's just such an easy and convenient product to just kind of throw on. And normally when it comes to contouring, I always think of it as like an extra step, something that I wouldn't typically like do for day to day because it is a little bit more extra than like my typical routine. But because this is such an easy product to just like draw on the face, and you get a beautiful effect, I have been using this every single day because I love the way it looks and I love the way it applies. It's just easy. And I also love that the formula is so blendable with just your fingers. Like, I don't have to go in with a brush to blend it out. Even with my nose contour, I'll just tap it out with my finger and it just melts into the skin so easily. And the color that I got, which is called Travertine, is the perfect cool tone shade for my skin tone, so it just looks so natural. There were a lot of concealers that I really loved this year, like the Sace Lip Tint, the Tower 28 Serum Concealer, but 2024 was the year that I rediscovered the Hourglass Concealer, because this is not a new concealer at all, and it actually was a favorite of mine years and years and years ago, and then I kind of forgot about it because I started using various other newer concealers, and I just forgot how good this stuff actually is. If you want a flawless under eye, this is it. It is full coverage, but still very much everyday appropriate. It gives a very smooth, almost blurred look to the under eyes, and it really just is such a flattering full coverage concealer. And obviously the shade range for a concealer product is really, really, really important. And the shade Silk is like my perfect concealer shade. It's not too yellow, it's not too pink, it's perfectly neutral while still brightening up my skin, and it makes me love the product that much more. There's really not much more that I can say about it. It has been in my everyday vanity for months now, and it is not leaving anytime soon. And that's it. Those are my top 10 favorite products from 2024. I'm very excited to see what the world of beauty will bring us in 2025. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments. Hit thumbs up button and subscribe if you want to be here in 2025. I will talk to you guys very, very soon. Bye.